Hello, my name is Tom McNamara, Mayor of the City of Rockford. I am here for our Heroes and Sheros podcast, and I'm really fortunate that we have one of the City of Rockford's amazing employees, Michelle, with us. But Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about you, what department you work in, and what's your kind of day-to-day job here at the city?
So my title is Media and Marketing Coordinator / Public Information Officer for the Police Department. Okay. So I handle all the communications for the police department, pretty much everything. Wow. When people say, hey, Michelle, what do you do? I tell them that I'm like the Lorax, but I don't speak for the trees, I speak for the police. Yeah. So if you're watching the news or you're hearing a story, and it says Rockford Police Department said, that's pretty much, it comes from me for the most part.
Fantastic. And I should mention this. So this specific podcast and this next kind of series of podcasts, we're going to be really focusing on those individuals who are active and engaged in our employee resource groups. So you may hear us say the letters ERG, that's just simply the employee resource groups. But before we get to that, I want to know a little bit more about you. Can you, as much as you're feeling okay with and welcome to do, could you dive in a little bit about just your family?
Sure. So I was telling him before we started that this is awkward for me because I'm used to being on the other side. I'm used to being the host. So I did the other side of media for almost 20 years at B103 and then at WTVO. So I'm used to, being the one asking the question. So this is kind of strange.
I like it this way better.
Yeah. I've been with the city almost 4 years. I have 2 kids. My son, Davin, just moved to Idaho. He's going to go live his best life out in Idaho. He's an East High School graduate, and he graduated from William Woods University. Awesome. And then my daughter, Avery, is a sophomore at Loyola, wow. And she went to Boylan. So, and I'm not from Rockford.
Is Avery into sports?
No, she went on full academics.
Oh, full academics, okay.
She did play basketball at Boylan. She was a basketball kid for many years.
Good at basketball?
Yes.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, tore her ACL senior year and decided, thank God we were books before ball, people. I'm telling you, those academics, the GPA and stuff, super important.
So you had a really wonderful career before you came to the city of Rockford. So one more question, I hope you don't mind. What kind of drew you to this position? I mean, it's a much different position.
Yes.
Has some similarities, right? But much different position. What drew you to the position that you're in now?
I know this is going to sound cliche and cheesy, but I just felt like I wasn't doing enough for my community. Media was fun and it was great. And I mean, my ties definitely helped me in this position. But over the years, I just felt like I could be doing more. I wanted to be more involved. I did a lot of volunteering, was on some boards. And when this position came open, actually, Christy, that used to have this position, I worked with her, and she's like, Michelle, this is perfect for you. You really should think about this. And so I was like, okay, media's fun, but it gave me purpose. And I know that sounds cliche and kind of strange, but I love it. And people are like, how do you, how do you handle it? How do you handle the stress? And it's like, I don't know. It was like meant for me.
You do a really wonderful job.
Thank you.
And I would add, because you're probably not going to add it, the hours of Michelle's job is not an 8 to 5. It's not a 7 to 6. It's literally 24/7. And I can attest to that personally from communications me and you are on, late into the evening or very, very early morning hours, 7 days a week. And just want to say before we go further, thank you for the work that you do.
You're welcome.
Fortunate that you are serving the citizens of Rockford.
Thank you.
So, want to dive in a little bit, right?
Okay.
So this is about our employee resource groups. Can you tell me what employee resource group are you part of?
So I am the advisor for the Allies for African Americans, ERG. Also, I was a former member, turned into an advisor, and I'm also a member of the Kaleidoscope ERG, which is our LGBTQIA+ group.
So what is an advisor to our group?
Well, an advisor is essentially, you have a chair, you have a vice chair, you have a secretary. There's an advisory board. You're going to meet Rebecca from the fire department. You're going to meet Wendy. We kind of oversee the daily functions of the ERG, making sure that the mission and the purpose are being followed. And just that overall, okay, do we have the agenda out? Did we get the minutes out in time? Is everybody who wanted to be involved? So, I mean, it's kind of like an overseer, but we're just kind of in the background, making sure things run smoothly.
Yeah. What motivated you to get into this position as advisor, but also joining the group in general?
Yeah.
What made that motivation for you?
So the first group I joined was the AAA, which is the Allies for African Americans, ERG. As a woman in an interracial relationship, I mean, many years, I've seen the struggle. I've seen the issues, one that he's gone through, the issues that, we've gone through together. So that was important for me. As far as being an advisor, Director Hunter came to me and she's like, I'm starting this advisory board. I really think this is a role that you can play. I really think this is something that you would be really good at. And I mean, are you going to tell her no?
No one says no to Sheros Hunter.
Absolutely
That's for
not.
sure.
So, but I love it. And then the Kaleidoscope ERG, my uncle passed away from AIDS in 1991. And we were told then that it was cancer because you didn't talk about it. You come from a big Irish Catholic family. It just wasn't a thing. It was, kind of behind closed doors. And that was really important to me. And being an ally, I also have a cousin who's married to a man, but was married prior, has 2 kids with a woman, and just getting to know them and just feeling like it's just important. My allyship is super important to me, and just like they're just everybody else. They're regular people. Like looking at you, I'm not judging you by like your marriage or your sexual choices or anything like that. You're the mayor.
Hopefully I'm just Tom.
You're just Tom.
So you've mentioned...
That's probably too much information, but like, I'm okay.
No, that's perfect.
I think the why
appreciate
is
you sharing.
important.
It's, I think, absolutely critical, someone to state most important. So you mentioned 2 words. You mentioned ally and you mentioned allyship. For those who may not be familiar with the words, or they're familiar with the words, but they're not really sure exactly all that it encompasses, what does that encompass to you?
So being an ally is I'm not a member of an underrepresented group, obviously. You look at me, I'm not African American. So right away, that I'm an ally. Being an ally means then that you're active in that group. You do purposeful things in that group. I'm one of those people, like, I don't want to be just on a board and sit in a meetings. I'm a call to action person. I want to get my hands in. I want to get my hands dirty. I tend to take over sometimes. So I think that's maybe why the advisor role came into play.
Okay.
Just saying.
Gotcha. So
that's it. So anybody can be an ally. If there's something you feel strongly about, or there's a group that maybe you want to build your own ERG, that's possible here as well.
Absolutely. We would certainly encourage that. What would you say, and I'll take a step back and just say, I think at the city we've made a lot of wonderful strides, but we also have quite a bit of room to improve. And that's us as a community or us as an organization. And I think sometimes that organization piece gets lost, that we are an organization. We're not a business necessarily because we're government, but we're a large employer. We got about 1,100 employees. What do you think we as a city could be doing better to inspire, motivate, encourage, whatever word you want to use, to get more people more employees who want to engage in DIB, maybe through our employee resource groups?
I think it's important that, like you said, we have 1,100 employees. And if you think of the small amount that are involved in ERGs, I think it's so diversity to me is, and I heard this statement, is diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. So it's like, okay, and then belonging is, and then it kind of further goes on with belonging is dancing like nobody's watching. Like everybody has these unique traits. Everybody's creative in their own way and can bring so many things to the table. I think our employees are our biggest advocates about working for the City of Rockford. If somebody ever asks me, like, what's it like working for the city? I'm like, it's amazing. Our benefits are amazing. The people we work with are amazing. You look at when you get our newsletter and you look at the anniversary dates of people, it's shocking. Some people have been here, 30, 40 years. The lower amounts, they just grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of people fall off. So just feel free to be involved. And you know what? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to plan an event. You don't have to be the person behind it and doing all of it. You can just be a member and just feel like you're a part of it because you are a part of it. Just take that leap, send us an email, call us, ask me about it, tell you all about it.
Yeah, and I'll just add one other piece to that. So I try to meet with each of our ERGs on a quarterly basis. Honestly, what I get out of it most, occasionally they'll say, hey, can you work on this? And yes, we absolutely want to do that, but I just learn. And it's really fun if it's learning about broader items, or if it's just learning about the amazing individuals who make up the city as an organization. That's been absolutely a lot of fun.
I love when we get on a WebEx and I look at all the people that are on there, and I'm just like, hey, and so many, I don't want to say we're disjointed, but like your office is here, my office is on East State Street, you've got community action elsewhere, everybody's kind of all over the city, so it's nice to see we all work for the city, but yet we do so many different things.
Absolutely. Kind of my last question, you touched on it a little bit, but maybe go in a little bit more depth as we close here. What advice do you have for those who want to be part of an ERG, or maybe want to at least find out if they want to be a part of an ERG? How can those who are watching this today really get involved?
You can send me an email. You can look us up in the city email. You hit the to button and go in and look at our addresses. For the AAA ERG, the chair is Bo Cheney. You can reach out to Bo. For Kaleidoscope, it's Patrick Murphy, Emily Schmidt. You can reach out any way in the city directory, find anybody, and I'll happily explain it. We can go out to lunch, we can go out have some drinks, we can go hang out at any of the events. If you get an email, don't delete the emails. I know we get so many emails. We get a lot of emails. Don't delete the email. Look at it, because it might be something you might be interested in. It might be something fun coming up that you just have to show up for. Yeah. That's it. Just show up. Call, email, we'll get you there.
Awesome. Well, as we close, I just want to say again, appreciate the work that you do every day.
Thank you.
On a daily basis, it really makes an impact, and a lot of selfless effort on your part to improve our communications and our partnerships throughout the community and internally. And hard to believe when you said 4 years. I was like, 4 years, man.
I know.
I'm sure every day seems like it flew by, but appreciate it. I saw that look.
4 years, 40.
all the same. Appreciate all that you do in the kind of day job. Also, though, really do appreciate how you always get engaged in so many different aspects of your job, and to make our organization a better organization. And want to say thank you to everyone who's watching. Again, we'll be doing the series of Heroes and Sheros podcasts on our employee resource groups. And lastly, just on behalf of myself, City Council, and the entire administration, and certainly Sheros Hunter, who you should never say no to, thank you for all that you do. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it.